You are tuned in to Revolution Radio, Windsor's finest variety radio station. I'll be your host, Tony Tavaleri, and you can join us at St. Clair College's Mediaplex every week for comedy, culture, news, and entertainment. Enjoy some R&R with Revolution Radio. The revolution starts now.
Good morning, Windsor. My name is Kelly Scheffler, and I'm here with my co-host, Tate Beamer. Before we start the show, this production is special in more than one way. It's our first ever broadcast as Revolution Radio, and secondly, we are dedicating today to Professor Karen Fallon, who recently passed away. Karen was one of the main pillars for this program. She inspired so many who knew her, including well-known personalities you hear on your radios every morning, voices written in your newspapers, and familiar faces on your televisions. We had program coordinator Veronique Mandel and Professor Haley Trelout in to reminisce on their time with Professor Fallon.
Being able to help students. Like, I watch the TV and I'll say to Tom, that's one of our students. I'll listen to the radio and say, that's one of our students. I see in print, names in print, and I'll say, that's one of our students. And I had a little help in creating that person to be able to go and get those jobs. And that, to me, meant everything.
Oh, my goodness, that voice. And that's the reason we're here today, isn't it, Haley Trelout? I'm Veronique Mandel, and that was the voice of Karen Fallon. Very sadly, Karen died a couple of weeks ago, and she really was a very special person here in the Mediaplex, wasn't she?
Absolutely. You know, seeing the posts on social media of everybody gathering their memories and what she was to them, I think is incredible to touch so many lives in such a large way.
She always looked for the best in her students, and she dearly loved the students. And that's why the news of her death got such a response, because they all felt that she truly loved and cared about them.
It's true. It's true. And that's exactly why we have decided to dedicate this first episode of the radio show to Karen and the very incredible life that she led for her students.
I think it's really wonderful. And thank you all, and thank our absolutely phenomenal students that we have here for doing that. They get it.
They do.
Well, I love teaching. I did. And that's something I taught for 22 years there. And I loved every minute of it.
A wonderful person and a tremendous loss to St. Clair College and the media community. Karen will definitely be missed.
The revolution starts now.
More Canadians are looking to join the Army as Canadian Armed Forces applications jump nearly 13%. This development comes with heightened attention on U.S. President Donald Trump's recent rhetoric on taking over Greenland and his interest in the Arctic for national security purposes. While applications were up, the largest share came from Southern Ontario, which accounts for over 30% of applicants. The prairies in the north followed at 20%, and Quebec represents 15%.
The smell of fraud is in the air. According to police, a woman attended a commercial business last month in the 7100 block of Tecumseh Road East and fraudulently obtained several items from the store. She's described as white, approximately 25 to 35 years of age, about 5'8", with brown curly hair.
If you are cold, you're not alone. Much of Canada is in a deep freeze as the polar vortex swings through the country. Residents in Saskatchewan and Manitoba areas can expect wind chill temperatures between minus 45 Celsius and minus 50 Celsius ahead of a slow warming trend this weekend. Meanwhile, the rest of Ontario and most of Quebec won't see much relief today, as an Arctic air mass hovers over the region, bringing prolonged wind chill values between minus 40 degrees Celsius and minus 45. According to Environment Canada, Windsor is expected to see temperatures from minus 16 to minus 9 over the weekend.
It's awards season, and here is Brianna with a recap of the Golden Globes.
Welcome to the entertainment segment of Revolution Radio. I'm Brandon Miles, and today we are discussing the Golden Globes. The 2026 annual Golden Globes were held on January 11th, celebrating the best television and movies that were released throughout 2025, with big categories such as Best Motion Picture, Best Television Series, Best Female and Male Actor in a Motion Picture and Television Series, as well as Best Director, Best Original Score, and many more. The event was hosted by Nikki Glasser, with awards handed out by big names such as Amanda Seinfeld, Kevin Bacon, Snoop Dogg, George Clooney, and more. For the winners, Best Motion Picture Drama was won by Hamnet, a historical drama directed by Chloe Zhao about William Shakespeare in the writing of his famous play, Hamlet. Best Male Actor in a Motion Picture Drama was won by Magner Mora as Marco Alves in The Secret Agent. Best Female Actor in a Motion Picture Drama was won by Jessie Buckley as Agnes Shakespeare in Hamnet. Best Male Actor in a Motion Picture Musical or Comedy was won by Timothée Chalamet as Marty Supreme in Marty Mauser. Best Female Actor in a Motion Picture or Comedy was won by Rose Byron as Linda in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Best Television Series Drama was won by The Pit, a series that follows emergency department staff as they work a 15-hour shift. Best Television Series Musical or Comedy was won by The Studio, a series that follows a newly appointed head of a movie studio desperate for celebrity approval. Best Director was won by Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, about a washed-up revolutionary who lives in a state of paranoia with his daughter. Best Original Score was won by Ludwig Göransson for Sinners, and Best Original Song was won by EJ, Mark Sonnenblick, Ido, 24, and Teddy for Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. Many awards were handed out as well over the night, with One Battle After Another ending the night with 4 awards, the most awarded film of the night. Meanwhile, Adolescence from Netflix had the most wins for a television series for the night, with 4 wins as well. With that exciting night out of the way, that's all we have for today's entertainment segment, but tune in next week for a fresh set of content in the entertainment world. For Revolution Radio, I'm Brianna Miles.
Do you enjoy stories? Adventures? Dragons? Well, then you might be interested in the Dungeons & Dragons campaign some of us at Revolution Radio went on.
The butterfly effect is an interesting thing. A small, singular action can cause a massive ripple for years to come. It could be something as simple as spending a few minutes with someone who needs it, or as big as slaying a beast before it threatens the realm. Every story consists of these butterfly effects, and this story is no different. Our story starts off at the location of the Dragonslayer Rapier, the abandoned Haldor dungeon. Untouched for centuries, but known to many. Not just for its dangerous traps, but also the magical sword that lies within. An artifact with a lot of value in coin.
Whoa, wait. Did you say coin?
Yes. Yes, I did. And there they go. Well, these are our characters. First, we have the fighter Kara, someone who, on the surface, only cares about their wealth and power. She has an untrusting personality and has relentless strength.
Ha! Good luck getting past that.
Next, we have the paladin Crownessa, who has an oath that's a little more loose than most.
Not the hardest wood I've had to cut. That sword is mine.
You know, you would move a lot faster if you wore some lighter armor.
Oh, that one snuck up on me. That's the rogue Delian. This one is quite clever, and honestly, whoa!
When I get that sword, it won't matter what armor I'm wearing. So I'll be taking that, thank you.
And that was Grayson, the ranger. A man obsessed with hunting creatures and monsters, especially dragons. Dragon! So, these 4 met as enemies, fighting each other for the chance at coin, weaponry, or glory. But their carelessness almost became the death of them.
What was that?
The sword! It fell off the pedestal! It must have been trapped!
Crap!
There has to be a way out.
Instantly, realizing the gravity of their situation, they banded together to escape the dungeon, all playing to each other's strengths, and working surprisingly well as a team. Just in the nick of time, they exit the dungeon, right before it collapses behind them.
That was amazing! What a rush!
What a rush. We almost died.
More importantly, I didn't get my reward. Nobody got a reward.
Well, about that.
Wait, you got it?
When did you get that? I didn't even notice you take it.
What can I say? I'm quick and quiet.
Well, that's just great. Now I'm gonna have to kill you for it.
Whoa, hold on a minute. I feel like we really bonded there for a second.
I don't care. I need to get paid somehow.
Okay, Kara, right? How about before you kill me and everyone else here, how about we all work together instead?
The sneaky one's right. We make a pretty good team.
Ha! Why would I work with all of you and split the money when I can do the job myself and get all the money?
Well, I think if we go to where this sword was created, we have a better chance at making some coin. I highly doubt any of us could do it alone.
I'm down. Sounds like fun.
If I can hold on to the sword, I'm in. I need to slay a dragon.
Yeah, like you know where the sword was created.
Well, if the glowing name on the sword is to be believed, it's from a place called Forgespire, and I bet someone in town knows where that is.
I want 35% of whatever we make if I'm gonna have to do this.
Deal. Take it out of the paladin's cut.
Yeah, that's fine. I have a pretty good side hustle anyway.
And with that, our adventure truly begins. This band of unlikely friends make their way across the region in search of Forgespire. After a long while, they finally find a carriage ride that will take them right there. This has been The Siege of Forgespire, Episode 1, Prologue, a Dungeons & Dragons one-shot created by Jacob Neal, featuring the narrator, played by Joseph Bedard, Kara, played by Natalie Reinhardt, Crownessa, played by Brianna Miles, Delian, played by Teresa Jaworski, and Grayson, played by Owen Kohut. Thank you for listening to this Revolution Radio production.
Have you ever wondered why there might be inequities in research? Well, I'm here to tell you about that. Rage Bait, where I spend 2 minutes making you mad one way or another. Let's start with something simple, shall we? Research funding inequities between women and men. The huge funding difference between impotence and menstruation is staggering. An estimated $1.4 billion on research and development of erectile dysfunction drugs alone in a recent 4-year period, no pun intended, compared to funding for menstrual health initiatives counted by dribs and drabs, $20 million here or there. And while there may be a multi-billion-dollar erectile dysfunction drug market, we're living in a time when single women are outpacing single men for home buying. Independent women with jobs are a huge untapped market when you consider how many years of menstruation they have ahead of them. So why did it take until 2023 for actual blood to be used to test the effectiveness of menstrual products? Women continue to be underrepresented in studies and research, even though we make up half the population. Medical research and drug trials are mainly done on male mice, despite the growing understanding that drugs have different effects on men and women, which can lead to over or under medicating. These differences exist in more spheres of our lives than we can even fully understand. Car crash research is done using dummies modeled after male bodies. So maybe it's just a coincidence that women are over 70% more likely to sustain serious injuries from front-end collisions? A recent study shows women's eggs may not age like milk after all, and it might be men's sperm that starts degrading after 40. While the wage gap may be getting smaller in some ways, the issues surrounding parental leave and loss of career momentum and opportunity when women take time to have and raise children seems to be getting worse in many places. The British Columbia Office of the Human Rights Commissioner reports over $500,000 in losses for women on average in their lifetime due to the gender and caregiver gap. Medical treatment is experienced differently between men and women. Studies show women have multiple roadblocks to accessing proper care, can be diagnosed years later than men for the same conditions, and do not get proper treatment they need based on bias in healthcare provider. Women are less likely to receive treatment for heart attacks, less likely to have care following an attack, and slower to recover because of that, and taking on too much too soon in the home due to lack of support from their partner. This has been Rage Bait, and if you're not mad, you weren't listening.
Have you seen something that you swear was there, but in reality it was not? Well, that's known as the Mandela effect. Our power panel discussed their own personal experiences with the topic.
Thank you for joining us today at Revolution Radio. Today we're going to be talking about the fantastical phenomenon, the Mandela effect. To my left, I have Joseph Bedard, a seasoned professional on the topic of Mandela effect. Across, Owen Kohut, and to my right, Brianna Miles, all Mandela effect specialists. Tell me a little bit. Joseph Bedard, what exactly is the Mandela effect for all the viewers out there who are not familiar with this phenomenon?
I wouldn't exactly consider myself a professional in the topic, but basically it's a bunch of people have like a collective memory of one thing that isn't true. So as an example, that one I like to bring up all the time is, do you know about like the Pokemon Pikachu from Pokemon?
Absolutely.
Yes. What color is the tail? Most people think
yellow?
it's yellow with a brown tip.
Okay, yeah.
There is no brown tip. There never has been. A lot of people think there is, never has been.
Wow.
Another one is the Monopoly Man. Very well known for his cane, his suit, his top hat, and his monocle.
And he's bald. Classic
That
feature
is
of
true.
the Monopoly Man.
However, he never had a monocle.
No.
So many people
never did.
So many people think that the Monopoly Man has a monocle, but doesn't actually have a monocle. So that's basically what the Mandela effect is. A lot of people think one thing when it's just not true. It's a weird collective memory.
At least he's still bald.
That's true. He's got that going for him.
Yep. And that mustache.
How many Mandela effects could there be? I don't know if... Brianna, do you have any examples of the Mandela effect in your life?
I mean, not in my direct life, because I believe in it. I know it happens to people, but I don't think it's happened to me too often. Like, there's this really popular one with the Fruit of the Loom logo, where they're supposed to have a cornucopia, but they actually don't. That one's messed me up a few times, because every time I look at it, I mean, why wouldn't there be a cornucopia? It just looks like blank without it.
It's just blank? The Fruit of the Loom logo is blank?
No.
Well, there's no cornucopia. There's fruit,
It's just
but there's
fruit.
no loom.
There's
Yeah,
no
it looks...
There's no loom?
Yeah,
There's
it looks
no loom
empty
in Fruit of the
is the
Loom.
best
It's fruit
thing.
of the... There is loom in the title, but there's no loom in the picture. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, and do you have any examples?
One of my personal favorites is Looney Tunes. Everyone expects it to be spelled Toons, when in actuality it's spelled Tunes, as in it's a musical tune and not a cartoon. Everyone thinks it's spelt as in cartoon, not musical.
That is wild to think about. Like, because you got to think, how does this happen all the time? Why do Mandela effects occur?
Well, here's another one we all might remember from our childhood, the Berenstain Bears.
Of course.
It was the
I love
Berenstain
those
Bears,
guys.
correct?
I think so, right?
it was-
Berenstain
No, you're not
Bears?
going to get me on this one. It was the opposite.
It was actually Berenstain.
Berenstain Bear.
Berenstain.
That might have just been a pronunciation error. At
No,
that point.
everyone thought it was spelled EIN. It's AIN.
Oh.
It wouldn't be like Berenstein, kind of
No,
like
not as in the German Stein, no.
not a Frankenstein
No.
sort of thing. Wow.
That's kind of weird.
This is some incredible things we've discussed here today with the Mandela effect. I think my life has definitely been changed. I got to go home and check that everything there is all the same, because the Mandela effect could be taking its effect at any moment.
Make sure you still have all your hair.
Absolutely. I'm going to check my hair right now. In
Good
fact,
idea.
I got to go. I got to go check my hair. Thank you for joining us today for this Mandela effect discussion on Revolution Radio. You are listening to Revolution Radio. Oh my goodness.
Top of the hour here at Oh My Goodness Radio. I'm DJ John, and it's time for our octogenarian reporter who just won't retire, Margaret. Where are you taking us today, Margaret?
Hi, Jim. I'm here at the bank depositing my pension check. I need to make sure I have enough in my checking account to cover the birthday checks for the grandkids.
Thanks for the update from your personal life, Margaret, but why are you doing this on air?
Oh, no, Jim. I'm not doing my hair. I'm depositing my pension check. I have to make sure I have enough for the...
Yeah, that's great, Margaret. So, what's happening at the bank today?
Yeah, I'd like to deposit my pension check.
Margaret, are you with me?
Yeah, I gotta have enough in my account for the birthday checks for the grandkids.
Everybody down! This is a robbery! Don't make me use this!
Margaret, do I hear a gun?
What? No, I'm not having fun. I'm here to deposit my pension check.
Hey, old lady, get down on the floor!
What? I'm busy talking to my nephew, Jim. Ask somebody else to hold the door.
Margaret, it sounds like exciting things are happening at the bank, but it's time to hear about the latest scores in the March Madness foosball tournament from Mike.
Okay, Jim, it was nice to talk to you again. Give your mom the best from me.
All right, everybody, I'm gonna need cards, I'm gonna need coins, I'm gonna need your watches, I'm gonna need your cell phones, all of it on the table, immediately.
Oh my goodness.
Zach is still around with the weirdest news found on the internet.
It's that part of the show where we got the weirdest news found on the internet. That's right, it's time for Weird News. This first story comes from New Zealand, where a seal crawls into a bar and hides in the strangest place. It was a wet, lazy Sunday evening when a baby fur seal waddled into the Spring and Fern, the Meadows Craft Beer Bar in Richmond, New Zealand, at the top of New Zealand's South Peninsula. Accustomed to seeing animals in the pet-friendly bar, co-owner Bella Evans assumed the visitor was a dog until she took a closer look. A patron grabbed a sweater and tried to usher the seal out the back door. Evading its pursuers, the creature dashed into a restroom and then hid under the dishwasher, which was swiftly unplugged. Evans, who has owned the pub with her partner for just a few months, said the baby fur seal was the first unruly patron she's had to evict, but she said the animal, named Fern by staff, was welcomed back. All right, from New Zealand to the Sunshine State, it's time for Florida Man. A TikTok challenge lands a Florida man in jail for trying to spend the night in Walmart after it closed. Shortly after 11 p.m. on Tuesday, January 13, Charlotte County deputies went to an Inglewood Walmart to investigate a reported burglary. According to the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, the caller said there was a man in the store who was actively live streaming to TikTok after the business had closed for the night. While inside the store, deputies said Hurley also removed an iPhone charger from its packaging. He was arrested and charged with burglary of an occupied structure and petite theft for this phone charger. And now it is time for your dad joke of the week. Why do crabs never volunteer? Because they're shellfish. I'm Zachary Belloc. You cannot make this stuff up.
Well, this has been episode 1 of Revolution Radio, and we thank you for joining us today. I'm Tate Beamer.
And I'm Kelly Scheffler.
And we will see you next week.
Thank you for joining us at Revolution Radio. This show would not be possible without our talented cast and crew. Owen Kohut, Kelly Scheffler, Natalie Reinhardt, Joseph Bedard, Zachary Balog, Haley Trelo, Brianna Miles, Teresa Jaworski, Otis Redding, and Tony Tavaleri. Check us out at Revolution Radio Windsor on Substack, YouTube, and TikTok.